and welcome back to the WTF1 podcast with myself, Amber, and our lovely host, Haydon. So, Haydon, we've got loads to chat about.
Have we? Has anything happened this week? I don't think anything's happened, right? I think it's been quite a quiet week.
It's so quiet.
I've been
that
so
there's
chilled.
Nothing to talk about at all, waiting for the season to start, snooze fest. I think I'm still having heart palpitations more than news that's come out recently. Like, genuinely.
It's been non-stop for the last few days. You're in the appropriate colours. Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari. I don't think anyone really expected that to just come out now. Mm-hmm. Maybe a few talks later on for 2025, who knows? But just to be do you know what? By the way, guys, 2025, let's do it. Let's go Ferrari. Mental. I think everybody just switched off for that whole day. I was just
100%.
Refreshing Twitter. Give me the news. Mm-hmm. Sorry, X. Does anyone call it X?
I still call it Twitter, not going to lie. Same thing. No, I spoke to my dad and I was like, Dad, oh my gosh, have you seen the news? And he was like, saw this coming. I did not see this coming. He was like, yeah, but obviously he's only got a few more years left in F1. He's not going to stay with Mercedes. They're not performing where they should be. So he was like, why would he not? Every driver wants to drive for Ferrari. And I was like, yeah, but who actually expected that to happen now? Maybe in 2-3 years. But right now, I was like, I thought he's going to, bring the team back up, Mercedes, get them back to podiums and wins. Maybe he can get his, world championship, and then he moves potentially. But
but would you why would you bother building up a team to then leave? He wants to go win. I guess it's clear to see he literally jumped in the simulator. Because I remember there was a post being Lewis is joining us in the simulator this week. And then 2 days later, I'm going to Ferrari. He must have hated the W15 so badly that he was like, I'm out. I don't want this.
I think he knows he's leaving soon. He's like, do you know what? I'm going to be off in about 3 years. So let's just do it. Why not? Go out with a bang. Exactly what I said.
I'm personally really, really excited.
Same.
As a low-key, as everyone knows, high-key Lewis Hamilton fan. I mean, I'm a patriotic Brit. I love them all. I'm not really a team supporter, so I'm not as devastated as those who are Mercedes Lewis Hamilton fans. I'm just really excited to see him in Ferrari. I've always been, Ferrari's, as Sebastian Vettel said, everyone's a Ferrari fan. Even if you say you're not a Ferrari fan, you are a Ferrari fan. Just that little bit inside of you. As a kid, it was watching Michael Schumacher in Ferrari, and then, there's not really been too many big days for Ferrari since, but, I'm there. I'm going to be yep. Change outfit, straight into the Ferrari gear, waving that flag. Let's go for it. I'm gassed.
I already have. I'm literally in the red jumper. We went to the steak launch as well, and I was in full red as well.
Yeah,
not the correct colours.
Rival team.
But I was still supporting, Hamilton's move to Ferrari, and one of my other favourite drivers is Charles Leclerc, so I'm dream team. All we need now is Grosjean as the reserve driver, which, please don't shut me down on this, guys. Everyone thinks I'm so deluded, and I clearly am. But just bring him back. Why not? You are
full Delulu
now. Really bad. Yeah, but then Grosjean made that post on Instagram.
I
thought, what an icon.
Context as well. That popped up on my feed, so I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to Amber, because obviously I know Amber loves Roman Grosjean. It's one of the most favourite drivers that's ever been for her. So I was oh my God, oh my God, exciting news. Oh my God, you won't believe what just happened. You had to pull over when you were driving. Called me just oh my God, Haydon, this isn't real. What's going on? And I was just what do you mean what's going on? Devastated.
I full on believed it. I was on the motorway. I was like, la, 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 la. I see just a text pop up. I pull into that service station. I'm like, right, I need to see this about Grosjean. I thought, oh my gosh, just see the picture. I thought, no, this is not real life. This can't be. And then it was fake.
Sorry, I'm so
April
sorry.
Fools is not for a while,
It was there on a plate. I saw it and I was like, I know exactly what to do with this.
I had to call you. I paused my drive for that.
I'm sorry.
But no, that would be my dream team, to be fair. It's never going to happen, but we can only wish, really.
Ferrari, if you're listening, make a fan happy. There you go, Roman Grosjean.
But then who do you think Haydon's going to go in that Mercedes seat?
I would really love for it to be Kimi Antonelli for me. I just want to see somebody come in as a rookie and be in I don't know where Mercedes will be. There's talks that they're not going to be as good as they used to be. They're going to be a higher end midfield team going forward, and maybe that's why Lewis Hamilton is stepping away. But if they are at least a decent team, put them in, and I reckon we'll see something similar as Oscar Piastri's done in McLaren. Impress straight away.
Yeah,
there's a lot of options there. A lot of people talk about Fernando Alonso. I'm still on the train of Fernando Alonso to Red Bull. That's what I want to see.
No, I agree.
Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc versus Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso. What a quartet that is. That'd be amazing. Carlos Sainz the other way. He's always been rumoured though with Audi, so I don't know. I don't know whether he'd go with the Mercedes, but he's an option for sure. I think he's a very good, consistent driver.
But then who's going to be replaced? Obviously, when they change over to Audi, who's gonna go from that driver lineup? Because that's the thing. You put one driver in one team, but then you have to then move this person around and move that person around.
It's usually how it works, to be fair. Yeah, when drivers switch around, they usually...
No, but it's like, you have to think, you can't go, so-and-so should go there. You got to be like, actually no, but then who's going to fill that? Are they going to be on the grid currently? Is it going to be like a rookie? Is it going to be a past driver? It's like, who's going to fill that seat? There's talks of Albon going to Mercedes. I could see that happening. At first I was like, no, because obviously he's probably maybe aiming to go back to Red Bull at some point. But then if there's a seat there and you're in a Williams, would you not just take it then?
Yeah, well, there are rumours circulating at the moment that Albon is, potentially looking at that 2025 seat with Red Bull. These are just rumours, so this isn't like fact, or this is just what's been going around on social media. But for me, I just don't see why he would go back there. He had that 1.5 seasons. He's already gone up against Max. He already knows what that's like. And I guess every driver is confident enough to be like, I'm going to be the one to top him. I think everyone, if you don't have that mindset as a driver, it's kind of like, why are you taking part in this sport if you don't think that you are world champion material? Not everyone is going to be, but I think as a driver, you've got to have that mentality to think, you are the best.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe he's, got that confidence back and he's like, do you know what? I can take him on and I am going to go for it. So who knows? He could go back there, but for me personally, I'm looking at like, why it didn't work out well for you last time. You'd had to take a year out because you were dropped, and now you've got a great home in Williams that you are doing an incredible job. And I think the Mercedes seat could be a better one, a better option for him.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people want to see him and George together. Like, that would be like a really cool team to see together as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking though. Like, are Mercedes going to go for maybe two? They're experienced but less experienced drivers, or are they going to bring in someone that's like a veteran of the sport and like Alonso or something? But realistically,
bring back Sebastian Vettel.
I mean, if he wants to, why not?
I think so many fans want to see it happen.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't see it happening, sadly. But I love Sebastian
now.
Vettel, and I would love to see him come back.
Yeah.
But until they go to sustainable fuel, I don't think Sebastian Vettel will be coming back. Although it's a Vettel-esque helmet there, so maybe...
We're putting out the signs for it. We want it to happen. Okay, some more breaking news though, Haydon, that I think we should chat about is obviously Andretti being rejected from the sport. It was actually quite savage though. Reading like the reports, obviously all the fans and like people in the industry did have quite a negative response to it, because they were like, I can't believe that. And then it came out, which I don't know if it's fully true or if it is just rumours, that the emails were getting sent to the junk folder. So I think it's a really big shame, to be honest, Andretti not being in the sport. I understand when they gave like the reasons for why they can't come in. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. They're not going to be getting podiums and stuff, but a lot of teams, new teams coming in, won't go straight to those podiums unless it's like a Brawn GP situation.
But they weren't a new team. They were Honda, so they wasn't a new team.
So that's the thing. I'm like, why not bring in? Obviously, you need to look at like, okay, if we bring in a 13th team, we need that extra garage, and are they going to fit on the tracks and stuff like that? But they are. They're always going to make room for it. It should
already be there. The infrastructure should already be. And if it's not, then that's on like Formula One and the people organising the sport to be like, you're not planning ahead and you're not planning for more teams, which is what fans want. And, more seats being available helps the junior drivers come up. There's a lot of F2 drivers who, like, the Porcher wins it, doesn't have a seat. Drogovic wins it, doesn't have a seat. Like, not all of them are always going to have a seat. It's not like throughout history, every F2 driver's always gone straight into F1. It's not always happened. It took a while for Nick de Vries to get into Formula One, and it didn't work out for him, sadly, because it wasn't a strong field in which he won his championship in. So, I think it's just sad because it means that there's less seats on the grid. And it also, they're allowed to apply again in 2028 because then that will be when they plan to be able to make their own engines. They're like, okay, this is going to be a better claim for you. But it's still those other elements of like the infrastructure's not there or this stuff has to be moved. And then also the fact of they don't see value in an 11th team. So like, it just makes it look like, by the way, guys, there's no point. And, I hate to say it, but it comes down to money because that big prize pool is now going to have to be shared between 11 teams. The teams don't want it. And it's fair enough for teams. Like, I'm not pointing the finger at teams being like, it's your fault for not having this extra team because you're greedy. That's not the case at all.
Yeah.
A business is a business, and you've got to look after yourself. You can't just go, yeah, I don't mind taking less money if we can have this new person come in.
Yeah.
But in terms of having a new team, I don't think you're going to get a better application than Audi, who are just like such a huge name in motorsport.
Well, that's the thing, though, because they've hit back saying that there isn't going to be like enough benefit, which I think, you know, you've got a very iconic motorsport brand there wanting to come in. Like you say, who else is going to compete with that? Like, there's obviously is other options, but I just think I was really disappointed when I saw it. I was like, oh, and then I saw all the comments and I was like, oh, everyone else have the same reaction as myself. Are they going to bring in another team soon? 2028? I don't know. I think everyone will still get that pushback.
Yeah, I think so as well. And it's just like things like the name and also in the thing that they said that Audi would get more of a benefit than Formula One. That's a fair assessment. Like it's definitely a fair assessment. But then you look at the other teams that are established in Formula One, like Haas, for example, coming in. You know, was the benefit there for Formula One or was it for Haas?
Yeah.
You know, I think Ferrari's probably the only brand that you're like, if they left, it's like, wow, that's huge that they've left Formula One. I think all the other teams are a huge part of it, don't get me wrong, but in terms of the name or the name of that brand, it's not bigger than Formula One in that kind of sense. So I don't think, again, I think it's a point that just goes to say to everybody else, whoever wants to apply, don't even try, because it's never going to happen unless somebody else drops out.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. And I already made a video on this on the channel, and I said my thoughts. But yeah, for me, it's ridiculous, and I would just, it's saddening because I just want to see more teams, and I've got into Formula One a lot more in around the 2010, 2011 era. That's when I really started to like be religious about it and watch every single session, every single race. And there were 12 teams on the grid then.
Yeah.
So it's like, why can't we have that?
Yeah. You might as well just bring that back. Also, I think it's a good point that you mentioned, like, obviously when you came into the sport, because when I came into it, it was like for the fans. Like I was winning competitions, get to go to races, all this stuff. And I think they pushed loads of stuff to get fans involved and to get that engagement a little bit higher. But now if you look at it, it is like, a lot of the critique towards Formula One now is it's mainly money based. It's always the decisions are based off the money as opposed to the fans, which of course it has to be to a certain extent. But then I do think they are moving away now. Obviously, we're bringing all the US races in, so extortionate, ticket prices going up. So all these problems that are showing F1 moving away from fans. Fans want another team. They're not doing that. So I just think that's what we're in at the minute.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's moving away from fans. I think it's more catering to like a casual audience.
Yeah.
That's the way I kind of see it. Like, because street circuits, for example, we talked about this on the last podcast, that I'm not a big fan of street circuits just taking over, and it's not fully taken over. It's not over half. I don't know the exact number of street circuits that are on the track, but you've got like, Australia, which is kind of a street circuit, but also, there's permanent parts to it as well. But I just think that it's bringing Formula One to the fans because obviously there's a lot more people in a city and it's easier for people rather than being Silverstone, which, we love Silverstone, but it is a field and it is so difficult to get to and you have to camp. If you don't like camping, I hate camping.
Yeah.
If you don't like camping, then you just enjoy it for a weekend and just have a great weekend. But, they bring it to a fans where you can get a hotel or get a Airbnb.
Like super close to the track, so easy accessible.
So they'll definitely bring it to the fans, but it's just a case of like maybe some of those old school fans feel like they're pushed away because of, bringing in that new audience, which is...
I think some fans as well kind of like, we are not big fans of camping, but some fans like love that as well because you spend the whole weekend there and you're like in it, you're camping 10 minutes away normally from the track itself. You're like really involved, whereas obviously if it's a street circuit, you can still be 10 minutes away from the track and stay in a hotel right outside, but it just feels more like authentic, I think. So some fans do like that, but I don't know, Drive to Survive caters towards a lot of fans as well. So there's kind of like pros and cons. They are kind of working towards fans, but then they're moving away in different areas, really.
Yeah.
But what I thought was great for us as fans was the state car launch.
Yes, really enjoyable. I think car launches with that one, at least being there. I haven't been, that was my first ever car launch that I've been to.
Yeah, same.
So I can't say for other ones in which I've just watched the live stream because I didn't watch the stake live stream because obviously I was lucky enough to be there. So I don't know what it looked like on the live stream, but at least being there, it felt to me what car launches should be rather than just here's a render, or we're just going to have this boring press conference for like 30 minutes and then we'll unveil the car. Like, it was a proper party. Like, there was the press conference happened earlier on downstairs, and then when the majority of the guests arrived, we got ushered into this really cool area that they took over, the Guildhall in London, and
like
like
all of it's neon green.
Yeah,
it was like a
graffiti
huge space
everywhere.
Yeah.
These really cool portraits that were like old school, because it's a very gothic, like 1800s, 1700s style building, and you've got these portraits from like that kind of era with like Joe's face on it and like Bottas's face and the team principal as well. So really, really cool place. And then the car reveal, and it was just a party, and it was a really great vibe and a really nice place to be, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was great, because like you say, like none of us have been to a car launch before, so what are you expecting? Is it literally just, here you go, here's the car, or is it like a massive event? And it was. I came away like, that was the best night ever. And then obviously Valtteri and Joe were like chatting as well, and so was the team principal Alessandro. So it was nice. Naomi Schiff as well, right? Just want to put this out there, I've not seen her presenting live before. Sorry. She is actually a really big inspiration for me now, because she's so professional, she's eloquent, she's vibrant, and then when you speak to her in person as well, and you see her like chatting with people, she's like the same, obviously less professional because she'd be a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
But that really made it for me as well. It was great to have her hosting the event, and she's a lovely person.
Like,
literally.
I
also,
love you.
love Valtteri's hair. That's what I was saying to Haydon the whole time. I was like, I like Valtteri's hair. I think it looks great. Love a mullet and a blonde.
The bleach blonde, actually, I think, because it just stands out a lot more than his normal blonde colour. Yeah.
But did you like the car?
Did I like the car?
Just like the livery of it. Did you enjoy it?
Did I like the livery? No, I'm going to be... It's my first, like... It's not... It's like a 5, I think. If I'm going to rate it out of 10, it's a 5. It's just okay for me. Like, from the front, I like it. As people know, if you know me, you know I like the colour. I like vibrant cars. I like them all to be distinguished amongst each other. That's what I want. So like the front end being bright neon green, I can tell which car it is from the front.
Yeah.
From the side, yeah, I think out of all the cars that are carbon and colour, that's going to be the one that's going to stand out the most, because it is just neon in your face. So it's good. But I think the design is not my favourite, at least from the side view of the car. But I know it's so difficult for these guys when they are producing it, because it's not just a case of like, oh, this graphic designer, here you go, can you just do a livery for us? They'll do it and go, okay, cool, that's finalised, job done. Sponsors have to be in the right place. They have to also make sure they're in the right colours. Some sponsor might not be on top of some other sponsored branding. Hence why, like, if, for example, a Golf livery or a Chrome livery from McLaren, you know, you've got the Chrome colour, would a sponsor then want their name on top of the Chrome sponsoring of another company? They'd be like, no, we don't want that. So you've got to jump through those loopholes. You've also got to build it so that the logos and the design aren't going to be all warped and changed if you decide, oh, actually, we're going to go for this different side pod design halfway through the season. So they've got to jump through those hoops as well. So I understand the difficulty, and I think for what they have been given, yeah, it's a nice looking livery. It's just a 5 for me, but it's no more.
It's like nothing special. That's how I felt as well, because like the event obviously was so cool, and I was like, wow, this is great. I can't wait to see the car. But a few people did say at the event, you know, that neon green is really giving like Halloween. It's giving like, do you remember
Asda,
Eurovision?
if you're from the UK.
Asda, yeah. Eurovision's entry,
Team.
Finland. That's what I mean. I've seen all the memes.
Yeah.
There was like Powerpuff Girls as well. It's got the green one.
Nickelodeon
all the memes,
gunge in
slime.
the face,
yeah, they're all flying around. So like that was kind of in my head. But then when obviously the car was unveiled, I was like, it's this carbon fibre thing. We're seeing this across the grid.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's more carbon fibre and less paint, which is, you know, great for the weight. You know, get rid of all the paint. But then it is just making a lack of design, really, which is, I think is a bit of a shame. But, okay, let's forget all the other variables that you just mentioned and all the difficulties they might have. If I was designing the car, keep the green, great. Keep a bit of carbon fibre, you know, don't put anything on top of that, great. But they should have used a darker green as well. It just makes it pop a little bit more then. You've not just got then the one neon Eurovision Asda green. Like it's
Eurovision?
just...
Where did Eurovision
Have you not watched Eurovision?
Yeah, I watched Eurovision,
Last
but
year.
I didn't see the... Oh, Iceland's...
Finland.
Is it Finland?
Finland.
Finland.
Gosh,
Yeah.
Finland. Yeah. And he was in the...
Yeah.
I was there at Eurovision, by the way. I've got loads of videos of that. I loved it. But that's the thing for me. If they did something different, and obviously we'll get onto Williams, but you know, you've got like the duo tone. Love that. It's just something else about it. There was too much empty space on that car for me.
We spoke about it last week, and we said we understand why the carbon's there. It's obviously it's weight savings for performance. Fully understand it. And again, it's one of those things that we understand why the livery is the way it is because of loopholes that you have to jump in. But as fans, I know that there's some people in the comments are like, I don't care about how the car looks, I just like the racing. That's fine. You know, if that's what you enjoyed, that's perfectly fine. For me, I like to watch the broadcast and easily be able to tell which car is which.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yes, okay, the McLaren at least is a bright orange that's alongside the black, and the Stake is a bright green that's alongside the black as well. Haas is black with bits of white and red. So I think if there's another car like a Mercedes, it could be quite difficult from afar to distinguish the two cars between those. And we haven't even got to some of the other cars. I mean, Alpine, that's going to be launching today.
Yeah.
They're giving hints of a pink camo, and I'm fully for it. And if they just say it's a BWT livery that they're running for 1 or 2 races, I'm going to be furious because I love the pink liveries when they're on the racing points. I love the pink livery when it's on the BWT Alpine car for a couple of races. Give us the whole season. It's a shame because Alpine blue is also such a beautiful colour as well. And I think they do a good livery with that. So you've got to sacrifice that one for the pink. But, you know, if you're going to go pink, give me the full pink.
No, do you know what? I actually agree, but I do like that more like darker / teal-y blue with a mixture of the pink in there. I'd be quite happy with just the standard, you know.
Give me the pink.
But we do like full on Barbie. That's the vibe we're going for.
Yes.
But what
we've got Barbie Alpine and then Oppenheimer Mercedes. It's just going to be.
And then Asda. Steak. So kick then steak. What did you think, though, of the Williams?
I like the Williams. I looked at the Williams and I enjoyed what I was seeing. I am worried that the two-tone blue, the darker blue, is going to turn into carbon black. And they're going to be like, our car's maybe a little bit slow. We can gain a little bit of performance if we just strip this dark blue and we put it black and just make it, well, just no paint. It's just carbon. So, again, it could be another car. But at the moment, I'm glad they came out with something where they've painted the whole thing. Please don't revert back. One thing I'm really happy for as well, the Duracell is just the best.
Yes.
It's the best marketing logo sponsorship on a car.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect placement at the airbox at the top. So I'm so happy that's still there.
I said that when I did a little short on the Williams launch. I was like, yes, they kept it. My favourite part of that whole car. No, do you know what? I really liked it because they've got a mixture of like, you know, the history of Williams, and also they tried to make it a new Williams era, which is the
really like the race
other blue
Williams as well.
Yes.
Very good.
But I do want to see Gulf, like a full-on Gulf Williams livery at some point.
Do another one, like a special livery.
The orange and the blue.
Yeah.
Love. That's my favourite livery of all time. I've got like a Gulf bag, I've got a Gulf cup, and I just think it's beautiful together.
Love Gulf.
Gulf. And Gulf, well, actually, they're sim racing gloves, but I do
We went karting today. You wore them today.
Yeah.
How were they on the karting?
No, do you know what?
They not work.
Every time I go karting, my hands just ache because I'm gripping for dear life on that wheel. So I was like, do you know what? The gloves ain't even the problem at this point. It's clearly just the way I'm holding the wheel, really. But yeah, I'm such a big fan of that colour scheme together. So I'm hoping to see that.
They did it Singapore, Japan, maybe Qatar as well. It was around that back end of the season. They had those races with that livery. So I'm sure at some point they're going to bring that back for sure.
Please.
And I'm here for it. But what they've come out of the blocks with, I like. I do like the little hints of the red and white as well. And I think it's a really, really good livery.
Yeah.
Solid 7 for me. You haven't even rated liveries. I need Stake.
Yeah.
I need Williams. I need a rating from you. And I don't want to hear, I'm in an R in again. Okay. I don't want to hear a 0.3. It's a bit 0.3. No, now give me it. Williams.
I'm going to give you solid numbers. So Williams, I'm going to give.
I feel like you're waffling.
I nearly said a 7.5. Right. No, I'm going to give the Williams an 8.
An 8, okay.
It's impressed me. I liked it. And I'm going to give Stake, unfortunately, like a 4.
Ooh,
unfortunately.
Lower than me.
Yeah, not a fan. What about you?
Haas. I already said that as a 5 for Stake.
Oh, yeah, no.
And then a 7 for Williams. Haas. What are we saying for Haas?
I was pleasantly surprised, and this is where I'm going to go against what I was saying about carbon fibre. I think it works with the Haas. Making it predominantly black, I actually liked that. They kept, like, obviously the nose has a few colours and stuff, and the red and the white. I was quite impressed with the Haas. They're not going to do something out of the blue, are they? Or like something out of the box. So for me, I was like, it's mediocre, but I wasn't expecting anything more from Haas. So my rating for Haas, I know this straight away, is a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
I am fully shooketh because I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
I think for what they've had, all teams have this, let's try and reduce as much paint as possible. But they've done it really well. I think the problem is because a lot of the cars are black this year, so they all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
That it's sort of warping everyone's opinion of it. I think if that was just the only car that was of that colour scheme on the grid, for me it's an 8. It is a very beautiful livery. The way that they've made it's an improvement from last year's car, which has taken away the white and put on more black. So it's a darker, it's going to blend into the tarmac a bit more, and night races it's going to just disappear. But I think it looks beautiful. I think they've done an amazing job. Do you know why I'm
harsh with it? Because the rich energy livery was my favourite when
let
the
it
partnership.
go. The black and gold is gone.
Grosjean was driving for the team.
Forget about Grosjean. Forget about rich energy.
That was my favourite car, right? My favourite number was 8. What was Grosjean's number? 8.
Was it 8 because of Roman Grosjean, or was it?
No, it was already 8. So I was like, oh, I think maybe that was the bit of the pull I had, like when I first came into the sport, and I was like, oh, number 8, whatever, I'm a Grosjean fan. I'm not even going to try and make excuses. But I love that livery. I just think the black and the gold, like, that works together so seamlessly. I want it back. Please bring it back. I know it's a bit controversial, but bring back the Rich Energy partnership, and then I would give the Haas livery an 8.
No, you can't just
or
give
9.
it a different because it's a different livery. All right, we're just not going to talk about this because we're literally opposite ends of the spectrum on this Haas.
Well, actually, I've got one more point for you, Haydon. Also, obviously, some of the car launches are just digital renders.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I'm like,
yeah. Well, that's an important thing. Like when we make these ratings, this could completely change when they're out on track. 100%. I remember 22, I was like, I can't remember what car it was. I think it was the pink Alpine then that I was like, it's not as bright of a pink as maybe the Racing Point used to be. And then I went to Bahrain testing and I saw it on track and I was like, that Alpine is one of my favorites. Like, that looks amazing. So as soon as you see it then out on track, you're like, wow. And to be fair, some cars in real life look so much different because I remember the McLaren, they like really up the saturations to the point that the McLaren at some points during the season was like a blood orange red.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas, it's more like a highlighter colour orange, isn't it? Like, well, it was a papaya, isn't it?
Oh,
but
yeah. Get it right, Haydon.
Sorry. But
you're going to offend people later.
My opinion probably will change when the season starts.
You see the rest. Yeah,
But right now, Haas, 8 out of 10.
Also, actually, one more point.
Oh,
no, it's not about Haas. It's not about Haas, though.
Leave him alone.
One more point is, right now I'm not for, more of a black-looking car. However, I prefer a darker Mercedes than the silver Mercedes that we had. I don't know if you feel the same.
I prefer the silver.
Silver?
Yeah.
I just don't.
Just because, again, it comes down to my personal preference. And also, I think because I'm a content creator who plays the F1 game, and I know that the car that you want to drive is one that's colourful from TV pod and it stands out from the tarmac. Because if I drive a Mercedes on the game in a night race, there's no thumbnail there, there's no footage there, you cannot see, like, you can see, but it's difficult. Whereas you drive a Ferrari, bam,
right in your face,
red in your face. So that's probably where my preference also comes from of driving.
Okay, Haydon, that's all we've been chatting about today. Done and dusted. So if you've enjoyed this pod, make sure you stay tuned for the next one. And we'll be breaking down so much more news, I'm sure. So we'll see you there.